Dr. Samuel J. Loomis was a psychiatrist. Michael Myers, a young Michael Myers that is, that was his psychiatrist. Now, what would Halloween, the franchise itself, be without us being introduced to Dr. Samuel J. Loomis? Now, Dr. Loomis, his role, other than playing Michael Myers' psychiatrist, was very important, very beneficial. Because what he brought to the screen, what he brought to the whole Halloween franchise was just so much needed, because just based off, first and foremost, his voice alone just struck so many eardrums that have ever heard him speak. When he said Michael Myers' name, when he called Michael by his first name, it was a voice unlike any other voice that we ever heard in any movie. His voice had horror in it itself. Because I'm like, damn, who should we be scared of more, Dr. Loomis or Michael Myers? And that's a serious question, because Michael himself seemed like he was intimidated a little bit by Dr. Loomis. He never killed Dr. Loomis. He had plenty of opportunities, but he never did it. Because Michael himself knew that this was the man who tried to get you on a narrow path as a young kid. It didn't work because there's only so much one person can do. But Michael Myers already had his mind made up when he killed his older sister. And I honestly feel this, myself, that the reason why Michael did that, because I feel, which they didn't add in the script, which they probably took out, was that her older sister, boyfriend, was picking on Michael Myers. Little harmless little jokes here and there, and Michael didn't like it. But his sister didn't do anything about it. I feel like she kind of laughed along with it. And it came to the point where Michael Myers was fed up. And I feel like he honestly said, if my sister ain't got my back, then who got my back? I guess I have to have my own back. She's supposed to be the protector, but she's not doing the protecting. She's allowing this boyfriend of hers to just feel like he can just say what he wants. So he took out his frustrations by killing his sister. But what we didn't know at the time, of course, that Jamie Lee Curtis' character, Laura, we didn't know that she was his sister at the time. When the Halloween movie, I'm not going to say when it first dropped, but after that, after the first one was, put out in 1978, I wasn't born at that time. I was born in 1990, of course, but, after seeing the first one, whatever year that you saw it in, you wasn't introduced to Laurie's character until after, to really, when I say introduced, y'all, I mean, we didn't really know nothing much about her other than seeing her in the first one. We got more introduced to her in Halloween 2 on the second one. And that's when we find out that this really was Michael Myers' sister. But Dr. Loomis, he was a protector other than just a psychiatrist. And of course, he was the one to save her, because Michael Myers, honestly, it looked as if he was trying to kill her, but if he really was trying to kill her, he wouldn't go by just trying to choke her. I feel he would just go straight for the slash. Because in the first one, inside of the house, Michael Myers, I'm assuming he grew up in upstairs towards the end, when Michael Myers rose up after he was down, because he got, because she had got him in the eye with one of the coat hangers. So right when we thought that it was over for Mike, she, by the doorway, leaning up against towards the doorway, and he rose up like Kane. That's why I was like, Kane reminds me of Michael Myers, how the way they sit up. So he sat up and looked around, and he slowly started walking towards her, and then she slowly started walking as he got closer, from the doorway to the hallway. And he took a swipe at her shoulder and, cutting her a little bit. Not nothing too major. Hitting the sleeve, cutting the sleeve and, probably getting a piece of skin off her arm. Dr. Loomis seen the kids come out running out the house because she sent the kids, to go to the next door neighbor to let them know what's going on. So when Dr. Loomis see the kids running out the house, screaming and yelling, that he goes inside the house to see what was escalating. Good thing the kids came out the house yelling and screaming, because they wasn't yelling and screaming when she was giving them the information on what to do. So good thing they did that, because it rose, to Dr. Loomis, taking the time to, be like, okay, what's going on inside this house? So once he got inside the house and, and we went towards the stair, once he got like halfway up, he seen Michael Myers and her, tussling back and forth, as if he was trying to choke her. So Dr. Loomis pulled out his gun, and then, he started to shoot and aim towards Michael, and it staggered. I ain't never seen a bullet stagger somebody, but it staggered Michael Myers. That's when I knew Michael Myers couldn't really die. I was seeing the first one. So when he staggered, that he, hitting him a couple of times, with the gun that he had, I think it looked maybe not, if not a Desert Eagle, or 22 maybe. Hit him a couple of times, and then hit him enough times, with the rounds from the gun. The door was upstairs, had an open doorway to where they had like a little balcony, it looked like, type thing. So both of those doors was open. So when Michael Myers staggered outside finally and went over the balcony outside and landed in the grass, fell, before then, I seen him stagger from the bullets. I was like, I don't think he could. The first time of us seeing that, we like, I don't think the nigga can die, because he's supposed to automatically fail after getting hit. But when he staggered, like, I don't know about this. This ain't normal. When we saw that. And then once he fell over, and he was like, okay, he may be dead. And then once, Halloween 2 picked up from Halloween 1, Dr. Loomis, he went to see if Michael was still laying there. And Michael wasn't. So Dr. Loomis was not intimidated or afraid of Michael Myers at all. That's what also, made his character and his role in the Halloween franchise so important, because he was the only one that was not afraid of Michael. And that's why I have to say that I feel honestly that if he wasn't a part of this franchise, would Halloween still have had that effect like it does? Because I feel like Dr. Loomis added more horror into it, because he made us afraid of Michael more by his voice. So, me personally, I feel like Halloween would have still been a good movie, but I don't feel like it would have been as great of a movie without us being introduced to Dr. Loomis, without Dr. Loomis, Samuel Loomis, being involved with this character, not being involved with him, with this character also, being involved, thankfully. We wouldn't have, had such a great classic of a horror franchise of a movie with Halloween. He just brought so much. He brought so much to the screens. And just how the way he sold it with the character that he portrayed, Donald Pleasance. That's his, of course, his government name. With his eye control and just his voice, which, like I said, provided so much horror into it and drew the audience into his character and making us, like I was just saying, more, afraid of the Michael Myers. It really, by his selling point with that, it made us that much more in tune to the movie itself. it made us look forward to each and every single Halloween movie to come. With Halloween 1, 2, and skip 3 because that was the season of the witch. I don't know what they was thinking about that. But with coming back with Halloween 4, which was, I think, the return, and Halloween 5 with the revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween 6 was, of course, was the curse of Michael Myers, and then 7 was H2O, and 8 was Halloween's resurrection. Now, all the way up to those 8 Halloweens minus the season 3 of the witch, the third, which is the witch, which is what we don't count, have been great films because we was introduced, because we had character. And I want to personally say long live the Donald Pleasance, and thank you for just being such an important factor, and to the people that's related to Donald Pleasance, family members, just to thank Donald Pleasance just for just serving such a great purpose and giving us that horror vibe, and to just selling the horror feel itself with the Halloween franchise, because he set the tone and he made Halloween, all the Halloweens, and even the ones after he was, no longer here in the physical presence, that much more of a classic, until we got to Rob Zombie's 2007, which was a disaster. But we're not going to count that, and we're going to act like that never happened. But I wanted to make this video for Donald Pleasance, just to say thank you, and long live the Donald Pleasance. May he live on forever spiritually. And Halloween franchise never dies. Sensei's Reality. I see y'all on the next one. One love. Peace.